Hey, this is Steve Eisner. I play a little game called Ask Steve Eisner. My producer, who's a Democrat, is going to ask me some questions, and I don't know whether they're going to be Democrat questions, but I'm going to answer them right off the top of my head. Let's have some fun. Let's do it. What qualifies for America first? Does everything that qualifies for America first have to be on American soil? I'm a believer that is not the case. That taking out Iran in the way that we can do it, which is quick and precision-like, and changing the regime is America first. I don't want to get into all the long-drawn reasons of why that is. I'd do a separate podcast on that. But I'm actually fine with the way we're doing it now. Let's hope it doesn't break out any worse than it is. I don't believe it will. And if it doesn't, and we take out Iran in the next 3-4 weeks, try and minimize the casualties, we're going to be just fine.
Minnesota.
Vikings. That's my team.
Politically,
got a bunch of wackos in there, head up by a governor who's just an embarrassment. Pretty much the entire leadership, Keith Ellison, Jacob Fry, Sanctuary Cities, Ilhan Omar, I can keep going on and on. Quality Leaning Center.
the shootings.
Yeah, I mean, look, you'd have to be an asshole to just cheer for people getting killed. But we see this all over the country, whether they're with traffic stops with law enforcement officers, or what we saw in Minneapolis. You can't just keep baiting and physically accosting federal officers and expect them to just take it. At some point, they're going to defend themselves, especially when there's a vehicle involved that could be potentially running them over in one case. And then the other, in the case of Renee Good, in the case of Alex Preddy, you got a guy who just consistently over the span of 7 days continued to harass and physically assault federal officers. If it didn't happen that time, he'd probably assault them and do something stupid a few days later. This is a guy who had a death wish. I wish it didn't end up the way it did. But you just can't assault federal officers and expect that result not to happen. Oh, boy, you got to follow my X account to know how I feel about Candyland. Wow. I was a big Candace fan a couple of years ago, really even a year ago. You want to talk about somebody who has just jumped the shark and gone in a direction that I would never believe. That's Candace Owens. But, the more I've started to do research on it, and I've started to partner up with a bunch of other podcasters who I've become friendly with, and we'll probably be doing shows together, you start looking at her background. You look at, her work history with Daily Wire, with Dennis Prager, PragerU, and then with Charlie, and you realize how much of a user she always has been, how inauthentic she always has been, and now she's become an absolute laughingstock. And follow my X account because I don't hold anything back how I feel about Candace. Yeah, guys, I mean, this is just a taste of what you're going to get when we go live on our podcast. I mean, this is just kind of off the cuff. We're going to be doing planned things, keeping it topical every single day. We're also going to do separate videos, 15, 20, 30 minutes long on different topics that you guys want to hear. We're going to mix in a bunch of sports, mainly fantasy and daily fantasy, DraftKings, FanDuel type stuff as the football season gets nearer, because I am very, very good at that. I've been very successful at that, and I can't wait to share tips and hear your feedback. We're going to have a lot of fun on the sports side of it. They're going to be separate, dedicated days and times that we're going to do sports, but get ready for some hardcore politics. This isn't for the weak and timid. This is going to be no holds barred.